All right, today we got a guide for you for 113 here on Master Mode on CookieRun Kingdom. Excited to break everything down, give you the team to overcome it, talk a lot about the strategy here today as we always do, and break things down for you to be successful. So thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your likes and subs as always. If you happen to have a question or comment throughout today's episode, let me know. I love to hear from you, and feel free to swing by the Discord server. Now, with that, I will have the timestamps down below. Like I said, where I'll break down the strategy objective of this particular run here on CookieRun Kingdom. We'll give you the team some tips and tricks to help you 3-star and overcome 113 here, and ultimately take down Schwarzwalder, this big baddie boss here. Now, very, very excited about that as always. So let's get into it here. So for new players and veterans alike, the way that Master Mode 13 works, and particularly Master Mode, a lot of times Dark Modes, you will have a boss at the end. In this particular piece, we actually have the boss because 113 will allow us to then move into episode 2. A couple key pieces here. Enemies max HP is increased, enemies debuff resistance is increased, HP shield capacity is decreased, healing decreased, summon creatures lifetime decrease, and then additionally special conditions here where your max cookie level is 55, max skill level is 55, max cookie grade is 1A, bonds, sugar gnome, laboratory custom set skill level, guild relics X, as well. So a couple key pieces here, the big ones being you got the waves of cake warriors, you got cake boomerang warriors, and then also choco cake warriors here as well. Big one being really a lot of times boomerangs can target a lot of stuff behind. If there's enough of them, can pick off some of your more squishy kind of cookies, DPS enabled cookies. That can be a challenge. And then here on the boss, you will get a wave of some of these things with you. But the key on this particular one is just like Schwarzwalder does, he charges in, he hits, he has lots of stuns going on. This boss will do the same thing. So when we talk about that, we got the brutal smash here. Headbutts the cookies with its rock hard head, brutal smash, a brutal punch, swings the hammer, dealing damage, hammer strike, strikes the cookies with the hammer. Now, again, power there, HP, attack, and defense, pretty high end defense. Very, very big things here. Couple strategies to use. Certainly, I want to cover that because it's very important in this particular one, and how to get by. So a couple things here. Lane clears are going to be huge. So having Frost Queen is the one that we have here. Certainly you can use other cookies that have that ability. Something like Sea Fairy here. Any of the legendaries work. This guy right here also will work just fine. Clotted Cream. And then anything, again, like I said, that deals some of that lane damage. Additionally, then you're going to want to make sure that once you're good enough between that lane damage, you want to start having some single target hits here for your end game. Schwarzwalder, Vampire works great. Sherbet here pairs well with Frost Queen, which is why I've done that. Those are a couple items for you. You can use rye, you can use some of these other cookies here. This one is very nice too. Espresso can work very, very well in this particular one. Pure vanilla is fine in terms of healing for your team. Cotton certainly can be a good trick there for you as well. Schwarzwalder is a great tank. You can certainly use things like Hollyberry. This one's a little bit more interchangeable because the survivability is a little bit, I'll say, easier in terms of some of the past ones here for Master Mode. So that's why I want to cover some of these pieces for you here. Now, one of the tricks always to keep alive here is Sugar Swan's Swimming Feather. In case you lose that cookie, you can bring it back. Again, generally with this particular one, there isn't enough single target DPS that happens. So not necessarily for the end guy. You certainly can flip in your Pilgrim Slingshot if you need to. You also have your attack here and your your attack here with Old Pilgrim Scroll. We also have our Squishy Jelly Watch for the cooldown, but we'll keep this to show you that it's not necessarily necessary, just in case. Maybe I will get it. I'll eat my words. But the reality is those are a couple things to do. So this team tends to be a little bit more interchangeable. This one certainly works. I've done it with a few other ones here. Again, this one's been very successful for some of the other guides that I've done as well. So again, maintaining some of that consistency for you as well as a player can be helpful. So with that, let's go ahead and check out our toppings. So we got the 5 solid almonds. Now all these toppings are available as guides on the channel for you. You can check those out just by looking as well. Topping guide and the cookie's name a lot of times pulls that up. Here, Sherbet is going to have a 5 raspberries here and raspberry for the attack. Here we went down with cooldown for Frost Queen. Again, ability to keep getting the lines, being that big one for us, like I talked about, to keep clearing. Then we have Pure Vanilla on heals, and then Vampire here on attack. Pure Vanilla on heals. 5 chocolate for cooldown for heals, and then more damage here was Searing for Vampire. So that's the lineup there. Again, a little bit of overkill in that, but I want to call that out so you can at least see that. And let's go ahead and take our run here with CHOCO, WEREHOUND, Brute. Again, Schwarzwalder in action. Schwarzwalder versus Schwarzwalder, as we like to say here. So a couple key things, like I said, survivability against the lanes. These particular swarms of our cake warriors here are not quite as big as some of the other things that we've ran into. Again, it's more of like a 3 or 4. Certainly, again, in terms of strategy, gives us some good options here for these 3, maybe even 4. Here again, we talk about, you can see the boomerang ones do a little bit more damage to Schwarzwalder, not hitting any of the back stuff, which is good for us here. Again, smaller, so a little bit easier to get through this particular one. All right, now we're on to the big baddie Schwarzwalder here. Now there's a lot more stuff here. Again, single target. There's the stuns that he's going to get off. There we go. Lane clear. Now we're on to single target damage. Now, again, like I said, it's not necessarily getting a ton of damage in, so we're not necessarily going to have to use a revive. So wanted to show that and call that out. That's a great, gives you an extra free slot, as I like to say. But again, it's going to depend on where your power is and how you're doing with this particular level as well. Boom, there we go. Vampire is a great one in here. Again, gave you some of that other mix.
That was a wonderful journey.
It was a wonderful journey. That is correct, Vampire Cookie. All right, so lots of key pieces. That one there for 113 to help you overcome it and essentially move into episode 2. That is correct. So let's go ahead and rewind here a little bit. So we talked a lot about the boss. We talked a lot about our team. We talked a lot about some of the challenges that you may come into with and some of the treasure lineup. We gave you a lot of things to move around and change, and particularly on this one, because it can be a little bit more of a flexible kind of run and episode for your cookies here on 113. Keeping that 7, that 3rd slot open for you, which is beautiful in terms of what you might want to throw in there as well. Certainly defense works great. You can use the stuff to lower Schwarzwalder's defense, all those kinds of things there in order to help you survive. So with that, I hope you enjoyed today's episode and breakdown of Master Mode 113. We'll see you in episode 2. Lots of great content headed your way. If you got a question or comment, do let me know. I love to hear from you always. Thank you for your support. I appreciate the likes and the subs. We've got a lot of great stuff on the channel already, and a lot more headed your way, like I said, and I love doing fresh content always. So with that, we'll see you soon. Until next time, you stay safe, you take care. Mythras out of here, and good luck taking down Schwarzwalder and mastering 3 stars on 113.